Jack returns to his mother's narrow city house and notices a small detail that changes everything. An extra cup on the table, a folded towel, the quiet traces of another presence. Over a pot of tea, the story slowly unfolds about Dung, the man who has been repairing leaking roofs, broken doors, and lonely afternoons for decades, while she keeps her heart locked because of gossip and the fear of what her children might think. Tonight, Jack gently asks a different question. Doesn't his mother deserve a late happiness of her own? Stay for this quiet conversation, and if it touches you, keep this channel close so you don't miss the next story. The alley at the end of the street was quiet. The paint on the last house still looked new. The metal gate was clean, no rust at the hinges, only a faint line of dust where people rested their hands to push it open. Jack stopped the motorbike, turned the key, and listened to the engine fade. The sounds outside were distant, a child calling somewhere, a scooter passing near the mouth of the alley, a cartwheel rolling over uneven ground. In front of him, the house stood still under the mild afternoon light. He unlocked the gate, wheeled the bike into the small front yard, and climbed the short tiled step. The main door opened easily. His hand knew the weight of it. Inside, the living room smelled of floor cleaner and dried flowers. The red wooden sofa set shone under the white ceiling light. The large flat-screen TV stood dark on the low cabinet, the reflection of the room resting on its surface. From the kitchen came the low, steady humming of the fridge. It was the only sound answering his soft call. "Mom?" No reply, only that constant hum in the background, thin but present, filling the gap where a voice should be. He carried the grocery bags to the living room and put them down beside the sofa. The glass coffee table between the seats was spotless. A remote lay straight in the center, beside a small vase of bright artificial flowers. Next to it, slightly to one side, there was a porcelain cup with a matching saucer, and folded in a clean rectangle, a white hand towel. He looked at the cup for a moment. It was not one he usually used. The towel also was folded in a way he would never bother to do. The edges lined up carefully, no corner sticking out. He lowered himself into his usual place on the long wooden seat. The cushion under him had a slight dip where he always sat. From here, the extra cup and the hand towel stayed in his view. He pulled his phone from his pocket and dialed. The ringing layered over the hum of the fridge. "Hello?" His mother's voice came clear, mixed with background noise. Sellers calling, plastic bags rustling, someone dragging a crate. "Mom, it's me. You reached already?" She sounded a little breathless. "Why you did not tell before you came? Where are you?" "I'm in the house," he said. "Living room. You opened the gate? The lock is okay?" "It's fine." "Then sit down and rest. I'm at the market. I'll be back soon." "Did you eat?" "Not yet." "You always not yet." There was a short clatter, maybe of vegetables being weighed. "Check the kettle. There is water. Make tea. Sit there. Wait. I'm walking home now." "Take your time. Don't say that. The sun is strong. I go now. Just sit and rest. If you are hungry, there is bread on the counter." The call ended with a brief rustle and a quick goodbye. The line went back to empty. In the silence after, the fridge filled the house again with its steady work. Jack set the phone beside the remote and leaned back. The ceiling fan above him was off. The air in the room was cool enough, no need to turn it on. The glossy tiles under the table showed faint marks where chairs had slid before. His eyes drifted back to the cup on the table. The saucer had no stain. The handle faced the chair across from him, not his side. The folded towel sat beside it, just within reach of whoever used that seat. He stretched out and adjusted one of the sofa cushions. Its cover smelled of detergent and sunlight. A thin line of dust showed along the top edge of the TV cabinet. His mother was usually careful, but maybe she could not reach the very back. He rubbed it with his finger, then let it be. The fridge continued its gentle humming. It reminded him that the house was never fully silent, even when she was gone. He stood and carried the bags into the kitchen. On the counter, there was indeed a loaf of bread in a clear bag, the plastic twisted and tucked under. A small pot sat upside down on the stove, drying. The floor was dry, the sink empty. He opened the fridge door. The hum deepened a little. Inside were eggs, a plastic bag of cooked food, 2 bottles of water, some fruit in a mesh bag, and a small container of sliced pickled vegetables. He put the new fish sauce, instant noodles, and snacks on the counter for later. The warm jackets stayed in their own bag near the doorway. He boiled water, made a simple pot of tea, and returned to the living room, carrying a tray with 2 cups, though only one would be used. The tray clicked softly on the glass table. He poured tea into one of the cups he brought, not the one already standing there. He left that porcelain cup untouched, still empty, still waiting. He lifted his own cup and took a careful sip. The tea was plain and a little strong. The steam rose between him and the table, then faded. He set the cup down and listened again to the low vibration from the kitchen. A few minutes later, the outer gate squeaked slightly. The sound of keys, a plastic basket setting down, then the quick steps he knew from childhood. "Jack?" Her voice came from the entryway, bright but tired. "In here," he answered. His mother stepped into the living room with a woven basket in one hand and a plastic bag in the other. Sweat darkened the collar of her blouse. She glanced at him, eyes softening at once. "You sit alone and don't even turn on the fan," she said, half scolding. "Is it hot? It's okay. You drove from the farm straight here?" She set the basket near the kitchen door, then went back to close the front door, sliding the bolt with an easy gesture. "Yes." He watched her move. Her steps were sure. The road was clear. "You should have called earlier. I would cook something. Now you must eat whatever is there. It's fine. I'm not very hungry. You always say that." She reached for the grocery bags he had put aside. "What did you bring? Fish sauce? Some noodles? Snacks? Some things for the farm? And a jacket? 2 jackets." She paused at that. "For who? One for you, one for Tu Tien. Weather is getting colder. You spend too much." She lifted one bag and peeked in, shaking her head. "Always like that. Sit. I will put these away first." He sat. She moved between kitchen and living room, storing vegetables in the fridge, rinsing a bunch of greens in the sink, straightening a cushion that had shifted. Each time she crossed the room, she glanced at him, checking without saying anything. "How is the farm?" she asked, opening the fridge again. The hum changed tone for a moment, then returned. "Quiet," he said. "We finished the concrete path so I can park closer to the house. The grass is coming in. Tu Tien has been hanging corn under the eaves to dry. She likes it there? Yes, there is always work to do. She looks less tired than when she worked in the city. That's good." She took a cloth and wiped a spot on the table, though nothing was visible. "The dogs? Healthy. The puppies are running around already. And you?" She looked up at him. "Do you eat on time?" "Most days," he said. "Most days is not enough." He smiled a little. "I try." She sniffed, half satisfied, half unconvinced. She walked back to the living room and sat across from him, in the chair opposite his seat. The extra porcelain cup and towel were between them. She noticed the tea he had made and reached for his pot. "You should have used the pot on the counter," she said. "This one is old. It still works. It drips sometimes." She poured tea into her cup, not the extra one. "Next time, use the new one." She took a sip, then placed the cup down gently. Her eyes moved around the room, the TV, the flowers on the cabinet, the shoes lined up near the door. Her hand smoothed the edge of the towel beside the extra cup, then left it folded. "How are your days here?" Jack asked. His voice stayed low. "When I am not around." She gave a small shrug. "Same as always. Clean, cook a little, go to the market, watch some shows." Neighbors come and talk. Time passes. It looks different, he said. His gaze returned to the extra cup. The room. What different? She followed his eyes, then looked back at him, a hint of caution in her face. There are more things. He let his words come slow. Another cup, another towel. The cushions moved to the other side. It does not look like a place for one person anymore. She chuckled softly. You only come once in a while and still notice that. You arranged it to be used, he said. People come and drink tea. Her tone stayed light. Sometimes your uncle from 2 streets away. Sometimes the neighbor. Sometimes Aunt Hi. Whoever drops by, I make tea. I cannot let them sit with nothing. He nodded, but did not look away from the cup. The towel was folded so even that he could see the straightness of each edge. Dung also comes? He asked. She did not answer immediately. Her fingers stopped on the handle of her own cup. The fridge in the kitchen hummed on, calm and steady. He comes sometimes, she said at last. When he is free, he helps fix small things. We drink tea. How long have you known him? Jack asked. His mother's gaze moved slowly over the room. The red, wooden furniture, the glass table, the television that had been bought long after his father was gone. Her eyes rested again on the extra cup and the folded towel. She drew in a quiet breath. Since before this house, she said, since before you were tall enough to see over this table. The hum of the fridge went on. The room settled around the 3 cups, one in her hand, one near his, one still empty between them. A house changes slowly when a new person starts to visit. She poured more tea into her cup, then sat back. The living room in front of her blurred for a moment. The polished wood, the television, the painted walls all slid behind the thinner lines of an older place. In her mind, the fridge hum faded, replaced by another kind of sound, the dry click of an old ceiling fan that had once hung from a stained ceiling, turning with effort during hot nights. Back then, the house had been smaller and darker. The street outside was louder, with buses passing close and trucks honking without pause. Wires crossed overhead in a messy web, the front door stuck in the frame when it rained, and the plaster peeled in small patches near the floor. She remembered a morning when the sky was pale and the air sticky. She had 2 plastic bags of vegetables in one hand and a sack of rice balanced awkwardly on her shoulder. The slope from the market to the house always felt longer on those days. Her shirt clung to her back and sweat ran down her neck. The strap of the rice sack bit into her palm. Her youngest child, Jack, was still small then, still needing someone to hold his hand when crossing the road. At that moment, he was at home with his older sister, both forbidden to open the door to strangers. The thought of them alone pushed her feet forward. Halfway up the slope, she had to stop to shift the weight. The rice slipped a little. Someone behind her spoke. "Careful," a man's voice said. "Let me carry that." She turned. A young man stood there, clothes marked with dried cement and red dust. His shirt was washed many times, but still held the stains of work. His hair was flattened by a helmet strap, his skin browned by long hours under sun. "It's fine," she replied out of habit. "I can do it." He did not move closer without her answer. He just watched her arms tremble slightly under the weight. "The site is ahead," he said. "I walk that way anyway. Give me the rice, at least up the slope." She hesitated for a short moment, then nodded. He took the sack, as if it weighed less in his hands. The muscles in his forearms showed their work. She kept the plastic bags and walked beside him, slightly behind. "Which house?" he asked. "The one with the broken gate at the end," she said. "I know that house. The roof tiles looked loose last month." "Yes," she replied. "They leak when it rains. You should fix them," he said. "Water running inside too long is not good." "I know." Her voice was brief. "I will call someone when I have money. I can check when I finish at the site," he said. "If you want, I'm already here." That was the first day she learned his name. Dung. He worked on different construction sites around the area. sometimes stayed to repair things in nearby houses for extra pay. He did not talk much about himself. He asked about the roof, the broken gate, the cracked step, about things he could mend with his hands. At the door, he set the rice down just inside and stepped back. He refused the small money she tried to press into his palm. "You have children," he said simply. "Use it for them. I just carried a bag from the market." She insisted he take at least a little. In the end, he accepted the smallest amount and left quickly, almost embarrassed. Later that season, after one long week of rain, water began to drip through the ceiling onto the bed. She stood on a chair, trying to reach, but the leak was too high. The children watched with round eyes from the doorway of the narrow room. A knock came. When she opened, Dung stood there with a toolkit and a bundle of old tiles. "I saw the water from the street," he said. "You didn't call anyone." "I was waiting," she answered. "I thought maybe the rain would stop." He climbed up to the roof, hands steady on the slippery surface, moving from tile to tile until the leak slowed, then stopped. When he came down, his shirt and hair were wet, but his face was relaxed. She brought a small kettle of tea and 2 chipped cups to the low table in the living room. The children had already gone to the back room to do homework, pencils scratching over thin notebooks. The ceiling fan overhead ticked with every slow rotation. "You can drink here before you go," she said. He shook his head. "I'm dirty." "The chair is already old," she replied. "Sit. It is not a problem." He sat, his knees almost touching the underside of the table. He took the cup in both hands, fingers red from the cold rainwater. "Next time use a plastic sheet under the tiles," he said. "It costs a little, but is better than this." "I will think about it," she said. They sat like that many times over the next years. He came when a door hinge loosened, when the electric outlet sparked, when a window frame swelled from damp. Sometimes she called him. Sometimes he came of his own accord, after passing by and seeing something wrong. He worked quietly. He did not move into the kitchen without asking. When she cooked a quick meal, rice, boiled greens, some salted fish, he accepted a plate only after she insisted twice. He always tried to give back part of the money. She pressed on him. In the evenings, when the children had gone to sleep and the street outside had softened to a distant murmur, they sat at that same low table. The ceiling fan turned overhead, each tick of its joints, cutting the silence into even pieces. He talked mostly about work, the long days on scaffolding, the noise of drills, the way some bosses paid late. He spoke about other workers who drank too much, about accidents he had seen. He never made jokes that pushed past the line of courtesy. If she mentioned the children's grades, he listened carefully and nodded. "Jack is good with numbers," he said once. "Maybe he can study something steady, not construction, too hard on the body." "We will see," she said. "School fees are already heavy." "Still, try," he said. "At least give him the chance." She noticed, over time, that he never drank more than 1 small glass of homemade rice wine when neighbors invited him. He walked straight, even in the dark. When he left her house, he always checked the lock twice and asked if she had enough medicine, enough rice, enough light bulbs. At that time, her own life was packed with obligations. She woke before dawn, cooked rice, prepared food, woke the children, saw them out the door. Then she took the bus to the factory, standing in a metal carriage that smelled of oil and sweat. She came back late, carried market bags up the same slope, cooked again, washed dishes, checked homework, paid bills. Her body often hurt in small ways. Her feet burned, her shoulders ached. At night, when she finally lay down, sleep came quickly but never deep. Her husband was already gone by then. The room where they had once slept was now full of stacked boxes and old clothes. The idea of any other life felt distant, almost unreal. Work can cover a feeling for many years. One late afternoon, she and Dung sat at a roadside stall near the market. The owner knew them both by name, but said little beyond greetings. Plastic chairs, low and unsteady, surrounded a table wiped clean many times. The awning sagged a little, collecting lines of water at the corners. Customers came and went, ordering tea or coffee, then leaving again. She had just finished a long shift at the factory. A thin layer of dust still clung to her work clothes. Her hands, resting on her knees, held faint scratches from the crates she had lifted. Dung had fixed a gate nearby and dropped by after seeing her sitting alone at the stall. He placed a glass of hot tea in front of her. Steam rose slowly. She wrapped her fingers around the glass to warm them. "How are the kids?" he asked. "Fine," she said. "They finished exams. The teacher says they try hard." "That is good." He stirred his own tea, watching the liquid turn darker. "You look tired. This month is busy." She took a careful sip. "The factory has extra orders. You should rest more," he said. "You get thinner every year." "I cannot rest," she replied. "If I rest, who pays for the house? For school? For food?" He did not answer at once. The sounds of the street filled the pause. Vehicles passing, vendors calling, a dog barking further down. "There are two kinds of tired," he said finally. "From work and from being alone." She kept her eyes on the tea. The words hung in the air between them, plain and heavy. He shifted on the chair, rubbed his hands together as if unsure where to place them. His mouth opened a little, then closed again. For a moment, she thought he would say something more that would change the way they sat together. Instead, he cleared his throat. "How much is rice now?" he asked. "The price went up last week." She let out a breath she did not know she had been holding. "Yes," she said. "Everything went up." He nodded, then started to talk about the cost of cement, about a worker who had injured his hand. The moment passed, folded into the rest of the day. She understood what he had pulled back, but she did not reach for it. There was no place in her head for any new decision. Her children's faces filled every corner of her thoughts. The rent, the electricity bill, the cost of uniforms and textbooks, all lined up behind them. Neighbors sometimes teased. When Dung's motorbike stopped outside her door, more often, a woman across the street raised her eyebrows. "Why you two don't fix things properly?" the neighbor joked once. "He comes so much, might as well sign papers." She laughed it away. "We only fix doors and roofs," she said. "No papers to sign." In the evenings, after he left, she stood in the doorway and watched him walk down the lane, tool bag in hand. His steps were steady, neither fast nor slow. The streetlight at the corner cast a weak circle on the ground. His shadow stretched and shrank as he moved through it. One night, after he had fixed a loose hinge on the bedroom door, he wiped his hands on a cloth and stepped toward the exit. She followed to lock up behind him. "Door is okay now," he said. "It will not slam in the wind." "Thank you," she said. "You always come when I call. If you need anything else, just knock on the site fence," he replied. "I am working nearby this month." He stepped out into the lane. The night air carried a faint smell of cooking oil and damp concrete. He walked a few paces, then turned back and lifted his hand in a small wave. "Eat properly," he said. "Sleep early if you can." She nodded. "You too." He turned again and moved away, his footsteps soft on the uneven ground. She stood at the doorway until he disappeared past the bend, where the light from the street lamp no longer reached. Inside, the ceiling fan clicked and turned. The children slept in the back room, breaths even and slow. She closed the door, checked the lock twice, then went to wash the 2 cups at the sink. Years later, sitting in the bright, modern living room with Jack across from her, she still felt something from that old fan in the way the air moved around her. She ran her finger along the rim of the cup in front of her now, tracing a smooth circle. "That time," she said quietly, "I thought my life would only be work, children, and that man coming to fix things, then leaving again. Nothing else. No new beginning, nothing strange, just that." Jack did not rush her. He waited, hands wrapped loosely around his own cup, eyes steady. She took another sip of tea. In her memory, the old fan turned on, then off, as someone flipped the switch at the end of another long day. The kettle in the kitchen began to hiss, a thin, rising sound that cut through their quiet. It grew, then settled into a steady release of steam. His mother stood up. "The water is ready," she said. "This pot is already cold." "I can do it," Jack offered. "You sit," she replied. "You drove a long way." She went into the kitchen. He heard the click of the stove knob, the soft lift of the kettle, the slight clatter as she placed it on a trivet. The hum of the fridge stayed underneath, but now the hiss of the kettle joined it, softer as she added water to the old tea leaves. When she came back, she carried the teapot with a folded cloth under it. The new jacket he had brought lay over the back of her chair, the tag still attached at the inner seam. She set the pot carefully in the center of the glass table, between the 3 cups. "The other pot really drips," she said. "You chose the worst one." "It did not leak for me," he said. "That is because you do everything fast," she answered. "You don't see small things." She poured more tea into his cup, then her own. She did not touch the empty cup and towel. "You said you knew him from before I was tall," Jack said. "Then what happened after? You lost touch and met again later?" She shook her head. "We never lost touch," she said. "He always stayed around. I changed house, but still near the old street. He visited when I moved, helped carry furniture, helped fix new doors. Then, when this house was built, he came here too." Jack watched her fingers. They smoothed the tablecloth under the tray, straightened the corner, then straightened it again. "In those years," she went on, "I only looked at you kids, nothing else. I thought, if I look anywhere else, there will be trouble. People would talk, the children would be confused. So I told myself, that is not my path." "And him?" Jack asked. "What did he say?" "He did not push," she said. "He saw my meaning. He still helped. If the roof was bad, he went up. If I had fever, he brought medicine. When your sister's wedding needed extra hands, he carried chairs, set up tables, then sat at the side. Did you ever think of being more close?" Jack chose his word carefully. "Now, I mean." His mother's mouth tightened, then relaxed. "You are grown now," she said. "You have your own life, your own worries. I also get old. The days are long. When he knocks on the door, I feel less empty. We drink tea, talk about old stories, about your father, about your childhood, about his work." She glanced at the extra cup, still untouched. "Sometimes he fixes one small thing only," she said. "A loose tile, a broken latch. It is not important. He could ignore it, but he still comes." She fell silent for a while. The kettle in the kitchen cooled down, its earlier hiss reduced to nothing. Only the fridge remained, a soft presence at the edge of their awareness. "People always talk," she said at last. "They look and whisper. They count how many times his bike is outside the gate. They ask, does she want to remarry now? At this age? After so long alone? What do you say?" Jack asked. "I say we are old friends," she replied. "I say he only helps. I say the children will laugh if I do anything strange. I say my husband is gone, but my life already fixed. I should not change it." Her hand went again to the corner of the tablecloth. She pressed it flat, then lifted her fingers, then pressed it again. "I worry you will feel wrong," she said, not looking at him. "You and your sister. That it is disrespect to your father, that it is shame, that it is greedy, wanting something for myself now." Jack leaned forward a little. His elbows rested on his knees, palms open. "Mom," he said quietly, "I did not grow up alone with you. I grew up seeing him too. He was always there, even if I did not understand it fully as a child." She looked up, surprised. "I remember," he continued. "The man fixing the roof, The man who carried the bed frame. The man who told me not to climb the scaffold. The man who gave me a used ruler when I started secondary school. You said it was from a worker. That was him, right? She nodded slowly. He is not a stranger to me, Jack said. He helped you when no one else did. He helped us, she swallowed. The movement was small, but he saw it. I am grateful he was there, Jack said, especially in the years when I was too young to help you, and later when I left for work. I cannot be in two places at once. I cannot stand next to you every day. He did that instead. Her eyes grew moist at the edges, but no tears fell. She blinked once and held them back. Your life does not have to be only about us, he said. You are my mother, but you are also just you. He searched for a word, found nothing complicated, and left it there. If being alone all the time makes you tired, he went on, and if sitting here with him, drinking tea, hearing someone breathe across the table, makes it easier, then I think that is good, not bad. She gave a short, shaky laugh. It is late to start such things, she said. My hair is white already. Who decided there is a time limit? He asked. Time passes anyway. She looked away, to the cabinets, to the row of cups, to the small calendar hanging near the kitchen door, with the day already half gone. I don't want you children to feel I forgot your father, she said. You did not forget him, Jack replied. You carried us all these years. You worked until your back hurt. You stayed in that old house when it was falling apart. Then you moved here and still took care of everything. None of that erases him, and none of that means you must stay alone forever. She took a long breath in. The air felt heavier going out. Sometimes at night, she said, her voice low, the house is so quiet that I can hear the small tick of that clock in the kitchen. Only that. My hands reach for another pillow, then remember there is no one there. And then I feel foolish. Old woman thinking of such things. Jack did not speak. In that silence, he lifted his hand and reached across the table. He did not rush. His fingers rested lightly on the back of her hand where it lay near the towel. Her skin was thin and warm. A faint network of veins stood under the surface. She did not pull away. For a brief second, neither moved. The room held its breath with them. He then slid his hand back and reached instead for the extra porcelain cup. He drew it a little closer to the center of the table, turning the handle so it faced the empty chair opposite his mother. Fill this one too, he said softly. So when he comes, you don't need to fetch another. Her eyes stayed on the cup. You really don't mind? She asked. He shook his head. I mind more if you are lonely, he said. I only want you to rest. That line seemed to land inside her with a slight weight. Her shoulders, which had been held a little tight, eased. Neighbors will still talk, she said. They always do. Let them, he answered. They don't stand on that slope with bags of rice. They don't sit here when the clock is the only sound. She gave a short smile. It was small, but real. You always talk more when it is about me, she said. For yourself, you say almost nothing. That is different, he replied. She hesitated, then picked up the teapot. Her hands were steady. She poured tea into his cup first, then into her own. Finally, she tilted the spout and let the pale stream fill the extra cup in front of the empty chair. The sound of liquid touching porcelain was clear in the quiet. A small, simple sound. If one day I decide something, she said, keeping her eyes on the cup, I will tell you and your sister. I will not hide. I owe you that. You don't owe me anything, Jack said. You already gave everything. Still, she answered, I will say it. I don't want you to hear from other people. He nodded. You can stay in this house, he said. Come to the farm when you want to change the air. If you want to bring him to visit, you can. There is room at the table there too. She let the idea sit openly between them. Dogs running in a yard she had only seen in photos. A wooden table on a veranda. A man she had known half her life standing beside her in a place that did not carry old shadows. "I don't know if he will dare to go," she said. "He is shy." "Then you tell him," your son asked. Jack said, "Maybe it will be easier." She looked at him. For the first time since the conversation began, her face held something close to relief. "You grew a lot," she said quietly. "Not just in height." He smiled. "Took long enough." She shook her head, amused and sad at once. "Finish your tea," she said. "Then I will heat food. You must eat before driving back. Don't run on empty stomach." "Yes, Mom," he replied. She lifted the extra cup, took a small sip from it herself, then set it back exactly where it had been, in front of the empty chair. Her hand brushed the folded towel, straightened one last edge. Blessing is simply a door opened without fear. The kettle in the kitchen had gone silent now. The glass table held 3 cups, one for the son who would soon return to the hills, one for the woman who had walked a long road, and one waiting quietly for the man who had walked beside that road for many years without asking for anything in return. Outside, the alley remained calm. Inside, the house felt the same as before, yet not entirely. The hum of the fridge went on, steady and practical, as if agreeing to whatever came next.